Hello all. Thank you for clicking on my video today. I'm Darlene. My channel, of course, is Scorpio 1111, and I appreciate you being here. I haven't done one of these in a while. I've just had a number of things. I've been sick and commitments and this and that, but I'm going to try to get back to doing these readings. So today I'm bringing through a young man. I think he was maybe 10-ish. And by the way, if this is not your reading or your loved one, I have a long playlist of these deceased loved ones readings. So please scroll through there, and your reading or your family member might be there, your loved one. So this young man, how do I say this? Sometimes they show me how they die, and sometimes they don't because it's not relevant. So it's a little both today with this young man. He's not showing me all the details, but he was outside with a group of other children. It could have been all boys. It kind of feels that with this little mini group I'm seeing anyway. But they were on a hike or an outing of some kind. Let's see, they're also talking to me at the same time that I'm giving you this message, so bear with me. I can't do both at the same time. Sometimes I have to stop and listen. Okay, so I don't know if this was, forgive me, he's showing me sort of the people, some of the people that were there. And there was a leader, a man, and then an older, a man and a woman. And I'm not certain if they were like, the man was I don't know what the relationship is with these two adults, but primarily the man is who he's here to communicate with today, because this could have been, I don't know if this was like a Boy Scout outing or a church group outing or a birthday outing. It doesn't feel like that to me at all, but some kind of outing where they were going on a hike. And it was this particular spot. What happened was he fell, and he's showing me, he's not showing me like his ending per se, but he caught his foot on something because he's just holding his ankle like, my foot got stuck, and he keeps saying, my foot got stuck, my foot got stuck. So I don't know how that happened, but this trail was what I'm seeing in my mind. This trail was, sorry, I just forgot, my son just sent me a message there. It had a bit of a cliff. So again, he's not showing me that. It feels like maybe he fell, might have fallen off the cliff. I'm not certain about that. But he just keeps referring to his foot. My foot got stuck, he's saying. Now, he's coming through because the man who was leading this group, who was the primary adult leader of this group, has felt very, very guilty, and he's just mourning the loss of this child and this incident altogether. And this young man is coming through to tell him it wasn't his fault. There was no reason for him to feel this way, although certainly as an adult you would. But he's just saying it was my time. It was going to happen anyway. I accomplished what I came there to do. Apparently he, from a soul perspective, knew he wasn't destined to be in the physical plane for that long. So he's trying to communicate that to say, I knew I was going to go early, not the 10-year-old, but his soul. And so it was all kind of predestined, if you will. And this was just his choice of how his soul decided he would, when he would pass. I think I'm rambling a bit. I apologize. So he also, let's see, what else did he want to say? Now he's saying to me, he's kind of now changing scenes and showing me, he says, tell my pastor, he wants me to give a message to the pastor. Now I don't think this same man that he's referring to was the pastor. He could have been part of a church group, certainly. But he specifically said pastor and not priest. So I think this young man was very close to this pastor. And the sense I get, because it's very interesting, 99.9% of the children I bring through always want to talk to their parents. And that's not the feel I'm getting today here with this reading. And I try to dig a little bit, and it feels to me like maybe this man didn't know who his parents were. Now, when you get to the other side, of course he knows on the other side, but it's not about that. These messages are about communicating to the people that were in your life most of the time. So let me get back to this scene in my head here. He's talking to the pastor, and he's just trying to pull in this information again. It feels to me like there's no real, I'm not seeing parents. Let me put it like that. I'm not seeing parents. Well, of course this child had parents, but it feels more like he was either possibly adopted, but it feels more like a foster child, to be honest, because he's giving me this feeling of, I could have gone a lot of directions, I could have made a lot of choices, but he's attributing the fact that he was a good kid to these two men, the pastor and then whoever this other man was. You know, could have been one of those big brother kind of groups too. I know big brother, big sister, whatever groups that they have. So that could also be, that's feeling closer to what this was about. But these two men apparently had a very big influence in this young man's life and kind of led him down, guided him, gave him nurturing, and, you know, guided him. That's just the best, guided him. And he took their guidance and he took it to heart, and he tried to be a better young man than probably most kids would have been, given that he didn't have an upbringing, what seems to be in a traditional parental environment. Boy, I'm struggling with my words tonight. Anything else you want to say now or have me convey? He's saying, actually, he had a happy life. He said, you know, I don't get the feeling that he was, you know, with so many horror stories you hear about kids in those situations, I don't get the feeling that he was abused. Or, I mean, he didn't have that warm fuzzy necessarily, but I didn't get that sense at all. So for all I know, he could have grown up in an actual, like an orphanage or something, but it was a really good, loving one. I just can't get the specifics of that story in the background. He's not showing me that. He just wants me to focus on these two men that were very strong role models in his life. And okay, thank you. He's also saying, or not him, the guys are showing me that he was a gift to these men as well. Not only were they a gift for him, but he was a gift to these men. Isn't that beautiful how that works? Oh, I love that. I love that. Is there more to that story, that comment? Yeah, one of these men, I'm trying to figure out which one it is. It could be the pastor. One of them was childless, and I believe he took this young man sort of to heart and kind of under his wing, and that filled a void for him. And the other one feels like either, excuse me, I can't, they're just showing me a lot here, and I'm having to pull it in. There was just a void. I'm going to leave it at that. There was a void in both of these men's lives that this young man filled for them, whatever their family situation was, or whether they had children or not, this other man, anyway. And so he was a gift, and they actually, both of these men really knew that when this young man was a part of their lives. Well, one of them more than the other one, but the other one caught up, eventually kind of caught up to that, and eventually did a little bit more in hindsight realize what a gift this young man was to him as well. And that may be because, you know, once we lose somebody, we kind of look back on those things. So I didn't mean for this to be a super long reading today. And is there anything else think that's all that he's given me so far. Okay, there was a woman, and I'm not sure, was this the same woman? I don't know if this is the same woman that he referenced earlier, but I keep coming back to this environment where, again, this could be an orphanage, it could be a church, a boys' club, but there's just a group of kids and then some adults that were there to help and volunteer even. And there was a woman who was there, an older woman, kind of like more for him, I guess he thought of her more of as maybe a grandmotherly figure. And I got the feeling maybe she worked in the kitchen area, or, you know, if it was a church, maybe when they had events and people, but I can kind of see her behind a kitchen counter, and he's talking to her across the counter and that sort of thing. And so he wanted to say hello to her, and he's, you know, I don't usually get names, so you just have to kind of let the circumstances fit or not. But he said he really, apparently this woman had a sense of humor. And there was something about, they would tell silly jokes to each other that he would tell, you know, typical kid jokes. But she would always laugh at his jokes, and he enjoyed that very much. He enjoyed the exchange that they would have, or you, the viewer, would have. And he really appreciated that very, very much. That made him kind of proud of himself, you know, in a fun way. Okay, I think that's it, folks. That's what I have for you today. Thank you for tuning in. Again, please check out my other playlists. And I also go live and do free readings here on YouTube, typically not deceased loved ones. There are other kinds of readings, but feel free to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that YouTube will let you know when I do those. And that's it. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it very much, and I'll see you all again very soon. Take care. Bye.